Now, you remember, you're not allowed to tell anybody anything about it. It's a total secret. Okay, let's get started. I'd like to introduce Veronica here to my right. I'd like to read a little bit about her. Hopefully I'll pronounce them correctly today. Veronica was born and raised in nearby Everett. Following high school, she attended Shippensburg University, where she earned a degree in psychology and secondary education for English. She taught 7th grade English for several years at a school near Gettysburg, and then returned to be closer to family. Upon returning to the area, it was necessary to reinvent herself, and she became a part-time professor at Penn State, the Mount and Allegheny Community College. After a year or so, she was hired to be an academic advisor at Penn State Altoona. During her time at Penn State, she completed her education to become a school counselor and was hired at the Hollidaysburg Junior High, where she works today. She currently works with a group of students on beating the odds, with a great deal of emphasis on space and space exploration. On a much more interesting note, she and her wonderful husband, Alan, live in a small farm in Queen. They have horses, an English Mastiff, and a South African Borbo. They also have assorted chickens, guineas, and a goose named Goo. They recently rescued a cat who loves watching TV, and a kitten. In her spare time, she enjoys fishing, gardening, reading, and attempting to work at her new telescope. She also enjoys volunteering at her church. She is passionate about helping people understand their motivations and dreams and how they can reach them. Without further ado, Veronica
Thank you, Roger. Well, I have to tell you, I want to say a couple things that I already said to the group that was here earlier. I have to tell you how impressive it is to me that you are here, whether you were forced, as some of you said, was forced. That's okay. You're still here and you're still participating, and that's awesome. And those of you who came to learn and to meet new people, and you came from other schools, that is really, truly amazing. And I have to tell you, I hope what you get from this camp is going to just change your life. And I hope what I give you today will also change your life. I'm guessing as much fun as this camp looks like, I'm thinking poor Mr. Allison and his crew is going to have a worse time next year. I can see this being full. And I think that would be truly an amazing thing. So what I'm going to talk to you today is something that's really easy to understand and really kind of hard to do. But we're going to start off, I want to put a little bit of technology in this, and I don't think anybody from Hollidaysburg has done this with me. So I need a volunteer. Come on down here. You may not look in this bag. What's your name, sweetheart? Jeremy. All right, Jeremy, you may not look in the bag. You may do anything you want. Try not to drop it, but if you do, it's okay if it breaks, okay? So tell me what you think is in there. Cans, okay? Feel around, see if you feel anything. Want to have another guess? Would you want to carry that around all day? No. How about a girl? Let me have one of the ladies. Come on down in the bright green shirt. What's your name, sweetheart? Jenny? Jackie. Jackie, take the bag. You can stay. Stay here, Jeremy. Help her out. What do you think's in there? You can feel it. You want to take a guess?
Wires and cables.
Wires and cables are in there? Okay. Would you want to carry that around all day?
No.
No. Thank you, guys. Jackie and Jeremy, thank you. All right, what is in this bag? As you heard in my bio, I did a lot of traveling when we moved back here in 1994. So my husband, loving, wonderful husband, bought me one of the very, very first, and just so you know, Jackie and Jenny, very few people are ever able to guess what this is. It's one of the very first cell phones. Okay? Now, stop. You're making me feel old. Okay? Now, we had this in 1994. It probably weighs, what do you think, about 5 pounds? And what I would want you to do to use this, you had to pull over, you had to get out of your car, and you had an antenna, which I cannot find. And you had to put the antenna on the roof, you had to get back in your car, where you had this plugged into your cigarette lighter, and then you had to call people, okay? Then you could call people. Now, you didn't have service very often, so I'm not quite sure why, but I thought I was really cool carrying this around. Let me just tell you, 94, 95, these were the height of cool. These were the iPhones of the 90s. And we carried them around, and we were so cool. How many of you would want to carry this around? Because you have to take it into work or in school and charge it every day. Want to carry one of these around? I don't think so. Then I'll tell you what. If you have an iPhone and you want to trade me, I'll do that trade all day long. Because these are worth like nothing. Okay? All right. So that was one of the very first iPhones. Now let's fast forward to this past Christmas. Obviously there's a theme here with my husband. This past Christmas, I got this phone. It's an iPhone 7S, I believe. Okay. What? Now you do want to trade me. That last phone, what did it do? Nothing. Nothing. What can this do? Everything. Almost everything. You can do everything. Now, I'm a school counselor like Mrs. Hinklebeyer who's at Claysburg. How much of my job could I do from my cell phone? A lot? Give me a percent number. 90. Go ahead and do the shirt. About 90% of my job. And I could actually, if I really wanted to, I could FaceTime kids for counseling. I can do all my emails, all my phone. But we went through, now let's do the math. Where's my math people? You ready? 1994, we had that big old bag phone. 2017. How many years is that? 27 years. Is that right? No. 23 years. 27, 23, close enough, right? Very good. Okay. Hey, that was my math, so we're good. That 23 years, we went from that to this. Now, I challenge you, and part of what we're going to talk about next, is as your generation, what are you going to have in your hands? I'm 50. What are you going to have in your hands at 50? What will your phones look like? And let's talk a little bit about that and how it relates now to the reason we're here today of growth mindset. Okay? Now, a couple of things about this PowerPoint. You got to be patient with me because I'm kind of technology challenged because I'm old. All right, so what if, who invented the telephone? Just shout it out. Alexander Graham Bell. So there's one of the first telephones. It's still in some of the houses around here, right? Some of your grandparents still have these? No, I'm kidding. Okay? So what if Alexander Graham Bell had invented this telephone and everybody had said, that's good enough. We can talk once in a while, it doesn't always work, but what if we had stopped there? What if we, do any of you know this phone? Okay, do you like that phone? All right, does it do much? No. What if we had stopped there? Or even, what if we had stopped on the flip phone? Okay? So think about this. Someone somewhere said we need to do more. We need to have a bigger, better phone. And that person had what I like to call a growth mindset, which is what we're going to talk about today. So let's start off with this example. And I'm going to talk fast because I know you're hungry and I want to make sure you get to your lunch, but I want to make real sure you get the idea too, okay? You love basketball more than anything. You can substitute any word you want in there. Baseball, football, cheerleading, whatever you would like. And you get along great with the coach. After trying out for the team, you find out you didn't make it. After you learn the news, you notice your locker, which you usually don't lock, big no-no, that your highlighter is missing. After school, you call your best friend to vent. Vent means to complain. seems like they're not listening to you. I want you for just like 2 seconds, I want you to think, I didn't make the team, I lost a good school supply, and my friend's not listening to me. What would your response be? You don't have to share it with me, put it in your head and think. Okay? How would you feel? How are you feeling? Is anybody feeling good about this? Okay? And what would you do? What would you do? I want you to turn to the person sitting next to you, no wait, and I want you to tell them 1 or 2 words about how you would either think, feel, or what you would do. What would you think, feel, do? Okay, so we can agree nobody's happy, right? All right, now, what I'm going to teach you today, what you're about to learn, when these kind of things happen to you, you're going to learn to respond to them from a different place. You're going to learn to come at it from a growth standpoint, not from what we call a fixed point. And you might be saying, oh, but I'm going to need years of therapy and block it. No, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to do this today. We're going to skip the questionnaire for you, so don't wonder. I know, I would always wonder, what was that supposed to be? It's a questionnaire, we're going to skip it because you're participating so well. Okay, here's the mindset. The fixed mindset, we'll talk more about that in a minute. The fixed mindset says, life's not fair. I should have been on that team, right? Nobody likes me. How many of you go home and tell your parents, nobody likes me? You hear that? Yeah, I know. And they say you'll live. Things never work out for me, right? Do you say that? Now, this is where you need to change your words. This is where you need to change your thoughts. And I'm telling you right now today, you can do it. I don't care where you are in your life. I don't care what your last report card looked like. I don't care what level of classes you're in. There's always room for growth. So focus on this with me a minute. Instead of saying life isn't fair, maybe you didn't make the team because you need to try harder and practice your shooting technique. Then you'll have a better chance to make the team next time. That's a growth mindset. I need to be more careful and lock my locker. You know what I say when kids come down and say, my locker, somebody stole my gym suit. Was there a lock on it? No. Well, they just have to buy a new one. Okay? You've got to lock your stuff up. And I wonder if my friend was having a bad day. Maybe your friend's not mad at you or angry with you. Maybe they're just having a bad day too. Okay, that's what a fixed versus growth mindset. Starting to get the idea? Now, what they do, a fixed mindset does nothing. They go home, they sit on that couch, and they count, and they sit in bed all day, and they play video games instead of doing work, and they write something nasty online about their friend. That's what a fixed mindset does. Okay? Is that the natural response to just out and do nothing? Yeah. But a growth mindset practices in a different way and asks for help. I can tell you right now, these adults that are running this camp for you, if you would email any of them, or me, or bless you, any of these folks, we're here to help you. Your teachers, your parents, your community, we support you. So there's absolutely no excuse for you not to have help if you want it. Start locking up your things. That's an easy one. Talk to your friend and say, hey, what was going on the other day? And don't do it via text. Okay? That's an important conversation. Never do an important conversation on the phone. This is too important. Okay? Think about it, guys. Was there death, destruction, or just disappointing news? You lost the highlighter you buy at the dollar store for a buck or whatever, and a disappointing phone call. That's it. Not the end of the world. Now, the mindsets. And this is really, really hard. Because I remember in first and second grade thinking about who were the smart kids. And was I one of the smart kids? No. I didn't think I was. So like first, second, third grade, I started thinking, wow, sure would be nice to be smart like Sherry. But I'm not, so I'm not. But look at this. Alfred Binet, he invented the IQ test. not always the people who start out the smartest who end up the smartest. Okay? So you might have been the smart one in first, second, third grade. You might be the smart one right now. But you better be real careful, because if people get a growth mindset, they can pass you by. Now, here's where we're going to do videos. So everybody cross your fingers. Give good thoughts to me as I pull one of these up. This took 3 tech departments to do this. So here we go. If you give me 1 second. Right click it. Right click the right thing. And we're doing You Can Learn Anything. Now, before I start this for you, how many of you are familiar with Khan Academy? All right, this is from Khan Academy. All right, so here we go.
Nobody's born smart. We all start at 0. Can't talk, can't walk, certainly can't do algebra. Adding, reading, writing, riding a bike. Nobody's good at anything at first. There was a time when Einstein couldn't count to 10. And Shakespeare had to learn his ABCs just like the rest of us. Thankfully, we're born to learn. Slowly, surely, you stumble, slip, crawl, fall, and fail and fall. Frustrated, confusing, trying, struggling, until one day, you walk. 1 foot in front of the other, one idea on top of the next, each wrong answer making your brain a little bit stronger. Failing is just another word for growing, and you keep going. This is learning. Knowing that you'll get it, even if you haven't gotten it yet. Because the most beautiful, complex concepts in the whole universe are built on basic ideas that anyone can understand. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you only have to know one thing. You can learn anything.
So that was from Khan Academy. And if you're not familiar with Khan Academy is a free online source. And I have to tell you, if I can learn math from something online, you can learn math from something online. So when you're struggling with homework or struggling with a concept, go there and look. It's free. It's not going to cost you anything. So let's go to the next one then. The fixed mindset is the belief that qualities are carved in stone. And you only have a certain amount of intelligence, that you can't improve, you can't make yourself smarter. Whoops, I need to go to slideshow, I'm sorry. I'm getting old, gotta yell at me when I get this wrong. There we are. Growth mindset. This is the belief that anyone can learn anything. Your basic qualities are things you cultivate through your effort, and that everyone can change through application and experience. Coming to this camp shows you have a growth mindset because you want to learn. You want to experience new things. Now, this next video, whoop, I think it clicked back one for me. Let me go back one here for you. There we go. Another Khan Academy. I'm loving these Khan Academy videos. Give me a second to pull this one up. And I have to tell you, for me to learn to do this and to present to you this way is truly that it's working.
What
really
determines
amazing.
our intelligence? One school of thought is that, okay, maybe you're either just born with it, or you either have it or you don't. Some people are smart, some people are less smart. Or maybe you can change it. And it turns out there's actually been a lot of research on this in the last few decades. And the answer is pretty clear, that your intelligence can actually be changed. What we've learned, what researchers have...
I have to just point this out. You see this guy in the background? I always wonder who he is, that little scrawny guy, and I always think like he has to be like so intimidated by that great big guy, but look at him there working, so I always point him out. I don't know why, I just feel bad for him.
taught us is that our brains are actually a lot like a muscle. We know that you can grow your muscles by going into the gym and doing exercise and straining your muscles. You don't just work on things that are easy for your muscles to do. You do things that your muscles have to struggle with, that your muscles have to strain with, and then they rebuild themselves.
You get the idea? If you would go to the gym every day and lift 5 pounds, are you wasting your time? So if you go to the gym and you lift 5 pounds, and then over time you lift 7 pounds, and you build it up, it's the same thing with your brain. You've got to push your brain. So think how sore your muscles get when you work out. You've got to do the same thing with your brain.
And they come back stronger. By struggling, it's a signal to your body to devote more resources to that part of the body. And we see that exact same thing with the brain. And here are just a couple of examples of it. This first one, this shows how the human brain develops in early childhood. This is a depiction of the neurons in a brain at birth. And then over as a child develops, it interacts with its environment, it tries things out, it struggles to talk, to converse, to interact with folks, to understand the world around it. And as it struggles, you see that by age 6, you have a much deeper and much stronger connectedness between the different neurons. Similarly, I can never say that word. These are depictions of, these are the neurons of 2 different scenarios. This is the nerves of animals that were in unstimulating environments where they're not around other animals, they're in a bear cage. And then this is the brain of an animal that is in a stimulating environment, that is constantly being challenged, that is constantly looking at stimulating new things. And so the big takeaway from this whole area of research is you absolutely can change your intelligence, that your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And that the best way to grow it isn't to do things that are easy for you. That might help a little bit. But what really helps your brain is when you struggle with things. And it's actually, research shows that your brain grows the most not when you get a question right, but when you get a question wrong. So at least for me, this is incredibly exciting, because it lets me know that when I'm going through something and I'm facing those times of maybe a little bit of adversity or a little bit of frustration, I can feel good about the fact that those are actually the times that I am growing the most. And this isn't just something that I'm saying, nice words. Research tells us when you get something wrong, when you challenge your brain, when you review why you got it wrong, when you really process that feedback, that's when your brain grows the most. You're well on your way to having a stronger, more able, and I guess you could say, smarter brain.
Okay, so what we're actually saying to you there is that you can grow your brain. You can make it stronger, just like you do your muscles. So, think about when you were a baby. When you were a baby, you didn't know how to walk or talk or do anything. What if the first time you tried to walk and you fell down, you said, well, I can't walk. I must be a dumb baby. How many of you did that as babies? Don't you dare raise your hands, because every last one of you walked in here today. So you know you had that growth mindset as a baby, okay? You had that. So this next video is going to talk a little bit more about how these brains actually work and how they develop. And I know this is a little bit sciencey, but I tried to make it geared for the younger as well as the older kids. So this is on neuroplasticity.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood and fixed by the time we became adults. Now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic. Hence neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid,
you're not getting the video, but you're getting the audio on this one. I don't know why, but we're not going to try to fix it. We'll just keep going, so just listen.
There are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well-traveled. These are our habits. Thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say we think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep travelling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and experienced neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
Hey, sorry about that one not loading right. Okay. So think about how you get stronger. How do you get stronger? Just shout it out there for me. Go ahead, in the green shirt. Lifting weights. What else? Anybody run? Okay. How many of you eat your veggies? Your fruits and your veggies. Okay. So that's how we get stronger. Now, how is your brain a muscle? How is your brain any different than the rest of you? It's not. It's not. And when do we learn the most? This is probably the most important thing for you to take away. When do you learn the most? Back there in the green shirt, shout it out for us. When we fail, we learn. If this PowerPoint had worked beautifully and there were no glitches, I would not have learned a lot of things over the last 2 days. Okay? Like, I don't know why neuroplasticity didn't work, but that was a fail for me, and that's okay, because I'm going to take that and say, okay, why didn't this work? So I'm going to learn from that. And how do you get smarter? You struggle. You make yourself learn new things. Now, I'm really hoping this one loads right, because this is an extremely powerful video. This is on people, famous people, who have failed. And so I want you to try to guess. Don't shout it out, especially you older people, because you'll know them probably before the kids do. Oh, it's going to work. Great.
After being cut from his... He went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. She wasn't fit for television. Fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. A high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. A teacher told him he was too smart and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Rejected by Decca recording studios, who said, "We don't like their sound. They have no future in show business." His first book was rejected by 27 publishers. His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
There are, if you go online, you could find so many examples, so many videos of people. It's really amazing at how many people have struggled and have failed, and they kept at it. I mean, those are famous, famous people. My favorite example, J.K. Rowling. She was a failure until she finally got those books published. Now, I just found this video, and I have to show it to you, because I really think it takes a funny book.
So exciting, okay, that should do it. So exciting,
Play, but you'll catch up with our bridge walker. Everybody ready?
Go, Bob. Oh no. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You failed.
It was awesome. Exceptional.
From failings you learn. From success, not so much.
If I gave up every time I failed, I never would have made the meatball cannon.
I never would have made my fireproof pants.
Like my husband always says. I propose a toast to Lewis and his brilliant failure. May it lead to success in the future.
So, failing is truly not as horrible as we think it is. So their mindsets, real quickly. If you fail a test, what are some things your inner voice, what do you say to yourself? What are some things you might say if you fail a test? Now, go ahead in the front row.
Well, time to study.
Whoop, time to study. Go ahead.
Never failed a test, so why would the heck would you fail now?
Okay, what's happening? I'm failing now. And I have to tell you, where are my 5th and 6th graders? It's going to get harder and harder. And what's going to happen when you hit 7th grade and you don't have all A's and B's on your report card? That means what? Not that you're dumb. It's not that you're a summer student, but that you need to work harder. Okay? Because sometimes in elementary school, we don't work real hard. I know that. Now, ask yourself, your responses, were they fixed or were they growth? And how are you going to change them? All of the materials I'm giving you today, available online. You can download it. You can email me. I'll be happy to send you anything. I have tons of worksheets, tons of things we could do. I could spend all week with you doing this. So I have lots of stuff. So this is my job as a teacher. So we're going to skip over that since I'm not your teacher. And we're going to go to your job. Be open to learning. And I really think you're here today. I think you are open to learning. Put an effort to develop your skills, to grow smarter each and every day. Every day, try to make yourself learn something. Read difficult books and work to understand them. Get 8 hours of sleep. Take care of your body and your brain. Your brain is just like your muscles at the gym. You know how you take time off when you're working at the gym. You have to take the next day off to rebuild. Your brain needs that sleep time. Take your cell phone, turn it off, put it away. Nothing magical or horrible is going to happen for the 8 hours you sleep. Okay? sleeping with your cell phone, bad idea. Tell my husband every night. Now, ask yourself each night. Stick with me here. I know you're getting hungry. We're almost done. What did I learn today? What mistakes did I make today? What did I try hard at today? And what was the result? And how can I get better? Your goal. Your goal, and the main thing you can take away from this, and I could have showed you this slide at the beginning of the presentation. You work until you are proud. You don't necessarily have to work all night. Your work might not be as good as somebody else's. It might be way worse. Your work may be the best. But if you are personally giving it your all, and you are working until you are proud, that's a growth mindset. So when you turn a paper in, you don't have your name, your date, and it's sloppy. Is that something you're proud of? No. Okay? Remember, smarter is not something you are, it's something you get. And everyone in here can get it. This is the mindset. I have that up there. You're not going to have that. I just have that so I don't lose that slide. But this is what I want you to think about. If today I had a magic wand and I said there's absolutely no way you can fail. If you want to be an astronaut, an astrophysicist, a welder, what are some other things you want to be? Professional athlete, teacher. Say it again. Nice and loud, I'm old. A professional band player. Gotta be loud. Guys, listen to everybody talking. An anesthesiologist. Can you spell that? No. One of my rules is you can't be something if you can't spell it. Now let me look at these. Let's look at these pictures, okay? Notice I have a little bit of everything. Notice I have a little bit of everything up there. Okay. A lot of you are here at STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEAM. We can argue about those letters all day. We're not going to. An astronaut. We have at least one astronaut in the audience. We have a doctor. We have a chef. Any chefs? All right, you should talk to Mr. Allison. We have the professional athlete. Maybe your goal is as simple. Maybe you have many little goals. Maybe your goal is to graduate. And I have students in Hollidaysburg that will be the first person in their family to graduate from high school. And that's their goal. Now, you notice down here I have a hot dog. Why? Why? My husband is we're both looking at retirement. And my husband had 2 new career goals. Okay? This shows a true growth mindset. He said, what do you think about me going back to school to be a lawyer? I said, whatever. I'm not arguing with him. If that's going to keep him busy, he can do that. That was on a Monday. He comes home on a Tuesday, and he said, I don't think I'm going to law school. I said, why not? He said, I think I want to be a hot dog cart salesman. So his goal went, I want to be a hot dog. So you know what? Get that for me, please. As long as he has a goal, that's what he wants to do. So you can be everything, but you cannot be a Bedford hot dog salesman. I'm not telling you what I'm asking you to do is going to be easy. But I am telling you it's worth it. Anything, the world. This world is yours. Whatever you want. You're going to have to work for it. And I say, why stop there? Oh. The last one, let me get there. I'm the mad clicker. The last picture is a picture of the universe, with space and exploration, and you'll learn more about that this week. There's no reason to stay here when you could go there. So, I wish you all the best. I hope to see you more throughout the summer. And if you have any questions, I'll be here lunch, pizza, and salad. Should have told you that at the beginning. That's probably what you're worried about the whole time.
Everybody give a big round of applause to Veronica.
Thank you for volunteering.
Take what she told you and use it.
Your lunch, Bye. Have a good lunch. You can get so much.
You want this shut off?